Hey. It's video 3 coming at you right now. Okay. I'm feeling it's a good day today. It's a good day. Sun is shining. All right. So your next lesson for Alyssa's theory lessons, part 3, are going to be about chords. And again, this is one of those things you don't have to know this in order to play guitar. But this is, again, the why behind the how. That's going to be like my theme for all these. This is the why behind the how, in case you want to know. So, music theory, chords. So we've learned about half steps, we learned about whole steps, we learned what makes a major scale. So from all of that, you can figure out your chords and why in the world you play the notes that you do. So I'm going to show you on the piano, and I'm going to show you on here. So we're going to start with the key of G, because that's mostly what you play on guitar. So in the key of G, you have the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G, because we have to follow that formula. Whole, half, whole, half. So if you follow that formula, those are the notes that you get in the key of G. Every chord, just basic chords, are 3 notes, and it's always going to be spaced. I'm going to show you the piano here. It's always going to be spaced out. Basically, like you play one note, you skip a note, you play a note, you skip another note. So I'm going to show you right now on the piano, hopefully. Hopefully this works. So, I should have, well, goodness me. Put my guitar down here. Here we go. So, can you see my piano? No? There we go. Over here. So, G, we're right here though. Okay, so G, these are the notes that you're playing on the piano. So when you play a G chord, you're gonna play a G, you're gonna skip a note, play this note, skip a note, play this note. So you're playing a G, a B, and a D. That is a G chord. And those are the notes when you play it on guitar, those are the notes you're also playing. So a G, B, and a D. You just basically skip notes. Every note in the scale has a number. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in this chord, you're playing a 1, a 3, and a 5 note. That's what makes that pretty sound. If you play another note, it just sounds different. Doesn't sound wrong, it just sounds different. That's your normal block chord in the key of G. So there's your G chord. So I'll show you here on guitar what that looks like here in a little bit. Because we're in the key of G, and this is G right here, and we're playing it on the 1 note. Remember, all of these have numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since we're starting on, my thing's getting messed up here. Since we're starting on G, this is called a 1 chord, because we're starting on the 1. So this is your 1 chord in the key of G. If you were to play then let's say a 5 chord in the key of G, you would go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the same thing, but we have to stay in our formula. We got to stay whole, half. So we have to play some fancy notes here. So we're going to start with D. We're going to skip a note, play the next note up, skip a note, and play the next note up. We have to play a black note because of what we learned last time with our formula. Got to play that black note. Can't do this. Sounds different. Got to play that. This is a 5 chord in G, which is a D chord, because we went up 5 notes. So the 5 chord in G is a D chord. So you can go back and forth between those 2 chords. You can play G and a D chord, G chord, D chord, or you can call it a 1 chord and a 5 chord. Got it? Yes? All right, I'm going to show you one more chord. I'm going to show you what this all sounds like together. So now, let's add our 4 chord. These are the 3 most common played chords in every song. So, you got your G chord, your 1 chord. Now we're going to do your 4. So go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing, we're gonna play this one, skip this note, play this one, skip this note, play that one. That's your 4 chord in the key of G. And that is also a C chord. You don't necessarily know all these notes, but this is a C, so this is called a C chord or a 4 chord. So we got your 1 chord or G chord. We went up 5 notes and got your 5 chord, which is a D chord, because that's a D. And then we went up 4 notes and played your C chord, which is also your 4 chord. So those are the 3 basic chords that you'll play in the key of G. So I'm gonna flip this around. Ba, ba, ba. All right. So on guitar, we're gonna play those 3. So you got your G chord, which if you're like learning your fingering, you know what your G chord is. It's right there, G chord. And it's all of these notes that I'm playing are either a G, a B, or a D. And then if I want to play my 5 chord, I would play my D chord. And all of these notes that I'm playing right now are D, F sharp, because you got to follow that formula, and an A. That's all of these notes that I'm playing right here. And then if you, excuse me, if you want to play your 4 chord, that would be your C chord, which is right there. So all those notes on there are C, E, and G. All these notes that I'm playing right there because following that formula. So there is your 1 chord, your 5 chord, and your 4 chord. Or in the key of G, it's G, D, and C. That's why you play those chords. That's why they sound like that. And all of those chords are major chords, which that's going to be our next lesson. But all those chords are major chords. They all sound happy. They're all happy. 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 So those are all happy chords, major chords. That's probably maybe why they're the ones most commonly used. I don't know. But then you could just take those 3 chords and just play like a little chord progression. A chord progression is just the progression of chords. A progression like anything else that you progress through. So you just have chords and you just like move through them from one chord to the other chord. And there's no rules for chord progressions. You can play whatever chord whenever you want. There's no rules really for music at all. So there was many composers that took what they thought were rules and they broke them all. So there's no rules for music. You can do whatever you want. But anyway, these are just the most common sounds. So I still feel like it's not tuned very well. Anyway, that was it. I was just playing a 1 chord, then I went to the 4 chord, and then the 5 chord, and back to the 1 chord. So there you go, just simple chord progression. Yeah, that's it. So chords, your 1 chord, your 5 chord, your 4 chord, or in the key of G, it's G and D and C. And we're gonna stop there for today, folks. So have a happy day. Mwah.